It's going to be quite the NBA offseason this summer, as we'll see some big names become free agents and some stars potentially being traded. Some teams will be looking to rebuild and move on from their stars, and they may be traded to contenders who are looking to win now. So, let's go over 5 blockbuster trades that would shock the entire NBA. And before we get into it, I have been facing some copyright issues lately with some of my videos, so some of them have gotten deleted. And just in case anything happens to this channel, please be sure to subscribe to my second channel, and I will have a link to that down below. That's my backup channel, and subscribing to that channel and of course my main channel, THETBALL, would be greatly appreciated and help me to continue to put out more interesting NBA content. So, let's get back to the video. First up, I have Hayward to the Lakers. For this to happen, the Lakers will need to get a player they can sign and trade to the Celtics to match salaries for Hayward's contract. That would be pretty hard to do, but if they can find a player who would do that, this trade will be possible to make. So I know this trade sounds crazy at first when you see the type of season Hayward had with the Celtics, as he definitely struggled a lot and got better as the season progressed, but he still never was back to his former self. However, we must keep in mind that when a player comes off a significant injury like Hayward had back in 2017, it usually takes them at least one season for them to get back to near their former selves. We saw this with Paul George, who returned in the same season for 6 games, but he struggled mightily in his return. However, the following year he looked about 80 to 85% of his former self, and then the year after that he looked even better than he was before that injury. I think we could see something similar with Hayward, and next season he should look similar to how he was with the Jazz. The Celtics may want to move on from Hayward and his enormous contract if they aren't able to re-sign Kyrie, and just go into full rebuild mode, and I could see them giving Hayward away for basically free, and likely along with a small other asset. If Hayward gets back to his former self, I definitely think he could be worth his max contract. He would be a great secondary option behind LeBron, and he could give the Lakers a 25-5 guy who does play good defense as well. This would be the move the Lakers should make if they strike out on all of their other free agent targets this summer, and they would be able to possibly get a star who would complement LeBron very well. It would be a risky move for the Lakers, but it could pay off big dividends if Hayward can return to form. Next up, I have Lonzo Ball to the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls need a starting point guard for their young core, and with the number 7 overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft, all the top guards may be off the board by that time. They could possibly trade the number 7 overall pick along with Chris Dunn, who has been very disappointing for Chicago, for Ball, to give them their point guard of the future. Ball would be a great fit in backcourt with Zach LaVine, as he is an elite distributor who can find LaVine for open shots and take on the opposing team's toughest perimeter assignment. And if Ball ever becomes consistent with his 3-point shot, he could also help space the floor as well. I think he would thrive playing with a scoring 2 and shooters around him like Porter Jr. and Lauri Markkanen. He would be the main ball handler on the team and run the show, which is something he can't do entirely with LeBron on the Lakers. The reason why the Lakers would do this trade is if the Pelicans would rather have another top 10 pick in this year's draft over Lonzo Ball to get Anthony Davis. So if getting Davis means giving up Ball for another asset that the Pelicans want, the Lakers should definitely do it, no questions asked, and I could see this scenario possibly occurring. The Lakers may or may not keep Dunn, but if they do, he would be a solid combo guard off the bench who could provide some great defense. Dunn is a poor shooter and struggles at finishing at the rim, so he won't have much of an impact on offense besides maybe distributing. He reminds me of what Marcus Smart was early on in his Celtics career, and while it's not much of an offensive contributor, he would be a very big positive on defense. This would be an interesting deal that could occur if the Pelicans want another top 10 pick for Davis from the Lakers, and it would be crazy to see happen. Next up, I have Dwight Howard to the Golden State Warriors. Howard opted into his player option with the Wizards after appearing in only 9 games due to back and butt injuries, and he's going to look to make a comeback next season to prove he is still an NBA starter. However, the Wizards are likely going to go into a youth movement and they'll likely re-sign Thomas Bryant, who was great as a starting center in Howard's absence. The Wizards will likely try to move Howard, and they could give him to the Warriors for maybe a 2nd round pick at most. The Warriors could definitely use a starting center if Cousins leaves, and Howard will be a great reclamation project for them. The Warriors system would utilize his strengths by mainly using him as a rim protector and rim runner. He would be more of a token starter playing about 20 minutes per game, but he would be useful and effective in the right role. This would be a great opportunity for Howard to get back to his old form and boost his stock for next year's free agency, and also possibly win a championship. He would be a great fit with Curry and Thompson, as his screen setting should help free them up for open shots. I would love to see Howard on the Warriors, and I think he could revive his career with them. Next up, I have John Wall to the Miami Heat. This would be a crazy trade that might actually be good for both teams. Trading Wall's enormous contract would be great for the Wizards in getting a chance to start over and clear his contract from the cap. On the other hand, the Heat need a starting point guard if they don't re-sign Dragic, and they will likely look to trade for Wall and see if he can return to his near former self after his Achilles injury. The Heat likely won't look to rebuild as they never seem to do that, so trading for a star who was once a top player in the NBA may be something they would do. If I were the Heat, I would try to rebuild, but they just never seem to do so, and I'm assuming that's what they're going to be doing in the future as well. So I could see them doing a deal that is centered around Whiteside and his expiring contract if he does opt into his final year of his contract, which I'm pretty sure he'll do, and likely some filler, for John Wall and a protected first round pick. With Bam as a starter, trading Whiteside would be the best idea for both sides. Whiteside will likely start with the Wizards or split time with Bryant if the Wizards re-sign him, so he would get a better opportunity in Washington compared to what he would face in Miami, with Bam in the mix. I think this would be a very interesting and fair trade for both sides, and we'll see if this actually happens. And before we get into our final deal, I want to give a quick shout out to SeatGeek, who is the sponsor of today's video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets, and using the app, you can see which ticket is a good deal which has a green dot, or a bad deal which has a red dot for any sporting event or concert. It's an easy to navigate app, and it's a must-have for anyone who's interested in attending an event. So if you guys want to see the Raptors Warriors finals in person or any concerts for that matter, definitely use my discount code THETBALL to get $20 off your first purchase when you first sign up for an account. And I'll leave a link to the site where you could sign up, or you could also download the app on your phone as well and use my code to get the discount there. So for the final Blockbuster deal, I have Mike Conley to the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are in a weird spot right now as they currently don't have a team that will go far in the playoffs, but they are too good to tank. The Pistons are likely going to try to go for the playoffs again next season, and they could have a great chance by adding a top point guard in the NBA. Conley would be a great fit on the team as a starting point guard who could distribute the ball well to Griffin and Drummond, and also score efficiently when needed. He would be a huge upgrade over Jackson, as while Reggie looked a bit better at the end of the season, he's still not a great shooter and a poor defender, while Conley is the exact opposite of that. I personally think Reggie Jackson will be best suited in a 6-man role, but right now he's getting paid as a starter. The only main problem with Conley is that he's injury prone, though they already have that problem with Jackson, so they won't be seeing much of a difference there. The Grizzlies would do this deal to make room for Ja Morant and give him the keys to the offense, and they would also receive some assets for taking on Jackson's contract in Kennard and a future first round pick. Kennard can potentially become a solid starter in the NBA, and at least right now he can help space the floor for the Grizzlies. I think a trade centered around Conley for Jackson, Kennard, and a future first round pick would be pretty fair for both sides, and I think a core of Morant, Jackson Jr., and Kennard will be great young players for the Grizzlies to build around, and getting another first round pick should help them expedite their rebuild as well. For the Pistons, a big three of Mike Conley, Blake Griffin, and Andre Drummond should get them to at least I think the second round of the NBA playoffs next year, but we'll see what happens with them. So that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on my newest video will be coming out. Also follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you may do. Let me know as I do try to get back to all you guys there. Drop a comment down below on which trade you want to see happen. It could be one from this video or one from your own ideas. Let me know. As I do read all comments, I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say. So with all that being said, once again, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys soon for the next video. Peace.